Yes. Welcome to another great episode of the Ashish and Friends podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Ashish. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ashish Airy. I'm joined again with my co-hosts and longtime friends, Shahan at Shahan J. Raja, Dev at Supaleza. You can also, hit us up on our website, ashishandfriends.com. Follow us on Twitter, Ashish and Pals, and on Instagram, Ashish and Friends. You can just vote. We'll be polling on Twitter and on Instagram. So please give us a follow over there and keep up to date. Today, we've got another draft segment. Today, we're going to be discussing probably the toughest decision in the 10 seconds you've got when you're checking out at the store. You're trying to choose which candies do I like? Which ones am I going to put in there real quick? We're probably gonna go at least 4 rounds, maybe 5 rounds. We'll see how it goes. We'll do 5. There's enough out there. Yeah. So with that said, I'm gonna get this thing started. Let's get the draft order ready.
Is this one where you guys think the number one pick is important or not? What are your thoughts before we get the draft order?
Okay, I think there is a clear number one, at least in my eyes. I think voting wise, I think there'll be enough variety so people will actually choose and vote on all three. But
I think this is a weaker number one pick overall compared to some of the other ones we've done, like where LeBron's available. There's not a LeBron in this draft.
I think. Well, first of all, let's take a second and run through criteria, right? So it's got to be something that you can get in the checkout line at a supermarket, right? So if you go to a gas station or something like that, there's going to be a lot more options. We're not getting all of those, right? Now, we can push the envelope a little bit on checkout lines. You don't have to have something that's just widely available. You can have something that's just normal somewhere, for example. And then on top of that, I think that for me, I think that my board's going to look a little different than everybody else's. I think that there's a clear number one pick in terms of voting, but I don't know if it would necessarily be my number one pick. So I'm curious what you guys think.
Yeah, and on this one too, you're probably going to want to build an assortment. At least my strategy.
Yeah,
I'm going to need some fruity ones, some chocolatey ones. So.
And like Shahan said, we're looking at generic most grocery stores when you're out at that checkout line. Not anything super fancy. Like he said, there will be some that we're okay, maybe we've seen them there before, but nothing super fancy. It's just right those normal candy bars, those whatever we usually see when we check out. And with that said, I have the order here. And okay, well, let's start 3, 2, 1. Number 3, I'll be drafting at the 3 slot. At 2, we've got Dev, which means Shahan has the number one pick.
So, based off of a recent conversation I saw Shahan have on Twitter, I think he's going to go a different number one pick than Ashish and I.
Well, see, here's the thing, though, is that if I'm going number one, I feel like I have to go with the one that people are going to vote for, right? Because
be true to yourself, Shahan.
No, I got plenty of options later on in the draft, right? I'm not really that concerned about getting some of my options later in the draft. So I'm going to go with the Panda pick for number one. I'm going to go Reese's Cups. I think that's the easiest pick on the board. I think that's a very popular candy. Again, not my favorite candy. Definitely would not be my number one. I think that the peanut butter gets a little stale in those. I think that there are actually better options, even in the Reese's family. But look, if you're going to pick a number one pick, I think that Reese's is number one.
No, I have to agree with you there. That's the number one pick for me. That's the greatest candy of all time. If there's only one I could only have, it'd be that one. I just love the cups. And we just past Easter, they have the Easter Bunny egg one. The cups are just so good to me. I just love them. Oh, I'm really upset that I didn't get to choose them. Really disappointed.
Well, and actually, I think that's a good time for a clarification. Okay, are we or are we not including seasonal candy too?
I assume seasonal candy was not included.
No,
so
it's
you
not
can't.
Included.
Because I agree, the ratio on peanut butter is actually better in the seasonal ones, like the pumpkins and Easter egg, than it is in the regular one. Yeah. But I assume that the regular one, you might even say the seasonal ones are kind of included in that.
They are.
If the better one's available, you get the better one.
When you talk about the cups, you're getting all the same generic type. So even the eggs are included in that. I don't want to individualize just seasonal things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the eggs are definitely better. But yeah, that's obviously the number one pick in my eyes.
Yeah, I think it's an easy choice.
So for the number 2 pick, I think there's actually quite a few, like, the whole world is open now, right? Reese's Cups is that one that's kind of different. The rest of them are there's a lot of similar ones. But I'm going to take a candy. I think it's probably going to be a surprise, but I don't think there's a lot of great fruit candies compared to the other candies. So I want to get mine off the board, and I'm going to take Skittles right off the bat. So I know they're not the most popular, but we're trying to build an assortment, and I don't think it's going to come back to me with 2 picks from Ashish. And I want the best fruity candy there is. We're going to get Skittles.
Gotta admit, I love what you did there. Not for you personally. For me, I'm just very excited now. There's a couple that I had in mind. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Skittles is good, but it's like there's so many other ones out there right now.
Number 2. Oh man.
You'd be surprised. Skittles is way more popular than you guys think. It's like, I think I looked it up. It was the #1 selling candy in the U.S.
It's a good candy, right? Like, I would have liked to have it on my board, but like, I just think that there's going to be so much more demand for what I assume are going to be one of the ones that Ashish takes next.
Yeah. Well, okay. You know, like you said, there's not that many fruity ones, so I do get what you did there. You know, taste the rainbow, blah blah blah. But oh, you messed up. So with my first pick, the 3rd overall, I'm gonna have to take Twix.
Oh.
Are you left side guy? Or are you right side guy? I don't know. I'm a left side guy. For some reason, I switched sides. There is a difference, people. Okay, Twix is just so fantastic. You got 2 little bars. Oh man, just so magical. That caramel is just hits the spot. And right here, there's just like, I had 3 in mind. I was like, which one's not going to come to me? But now they're all here. I had to take Twix. I think even the fun size, that's like one of the best things of all time. So I'm very happy with Twix right there. And I'm going to go back to back and take Kit Kat. Give me a break. Give me a break of that Kit Kat bar. How about that, guys? I mean, you got 4 little wafers. So very nice. I'm very happy here. I have 2 of my favorites. I think, yeah, both, even like just when you check out, or if you get like the fun size, you know, during Halloween or whatever, Kit Kats and Twix are like 2 of my favorites of all time to get.
Have you seen the like video from like the Kardashians that show like a different way to eat the Kit Kat, where you like break it down? I don't know if you guys seen it. It's like a really popular YouTube video when it like came out. It was like floating around, but they like break it down. It's really gross, but you should check it out. It's funny.
All right, guys. Well, if you have time, go check that out. But
yeah, I assume someone listening will probably know what I'm talking about. If you're listening and you know what I'm talking about, hit us up on Twitter.
I gotta say, man, that set of picks is exactly why I would have wanted the 3rd pick. Those would have been exactly the 2 candies that I would have gone for. And Twix, I mean, I think that Dev, you probably saw me talking about it on Twitter. Like, I had to pick Reese's #1 because that's gonna get votes. Twix is my #1 major candy bar on the
That's board. What I knew. Like, that's what I was debating if I was gonna go Twix with that 2nd pick. Take your #1.
Yeah.
But the real reason I went with Skittles is because I saw it here and I thought there's 3 candies that were coming up to me that I thought, okay, one of these chocolates I'm gonna get. So I really was like, it was between Twix, Kit Kat, and then the pick that I'm going, which is Snickers. Yeah. So I figured I could get one of those and I could still get my fruit candy, just in case Ashish wanted to go that route. So that's kind of what I was thinking. So yeah, I got Snickers. I personally love like when you get candies that have actual like non-chocolate things in them. I love like the actual peanuts in the candy, and I think it tastes great. So I'm happy with Snickers. Sure.
Snickers keeps you satisfied. When I said there's 3 things that were on my mind, Snickers was the 3rd one. I really love Snickers bars. But the thing is, there's like so many different kinds that are similar to it. I don't want to give any hints to my future picks, but that's why I figured I could leave it there. And I mean, that's a good pick. I think it's better than your first pick, to be honest.
Well, I do think Skittles is the #5 candy. I just didn't want it stolen. That's why I kind of took it ahead, and then figuring I would get one of those 3 back, guaranteed. Then.
No, that makes sense. All right, Shahan, you're up.
Whew, yeah, no, I mean those were those 3 in a row were definitely the 3 that I wanted most of my board. I'll be honest. I feel like at this point, right, like all the obvious choices have already started to be taken off the board. So I'm gonna go 1 traditional and 1. one less sort of popular. So the first one I'm gonna go is M&Ms, but specifically peanut M&Ms. Like obviously I get M&Ms in general, but I mean peanut M&Ms are the way to go. Like Deb was saying, I like
no. There's so many different types of M&Ms.
Peanut M&Ms.
Okay,
so you can pick normal M&Ms and peanut if you wanted.
Yeah. You definitely don't get all of them.
Peanut is one pick.
Okay, then I'm going peanut M&Ms. Like Dev said, it's nice to have some candies that have chocolate with something else in it too. For me, like I don't know, it just hits right. I think that's just one of those candies. A lot of the time I'll get two candies and I'll get something very chocolatey and then also peanut M&Ms to kind of balance it out a little bit. But yeah, to me, I mean, peanut M&Ms I think are an obvious pick on the board. Next one up, I mean, again, this is where we're starting to get, I think, a little different, right? Like this is where we're starting to have to make decisions right about here. Again, I don't know if this is gonna be a pick that's gonna be left later. So I'm just gonna go with the take 5. So take 5 is chocolate, peanut butter, caramel, and pretzels all mixed together. You get 3 of them in a pack. Again, when I was in Atlanta and when I was going late night to the gas station, I mean that was one of the ones that I always got. Again, it's different. I think that like you guys mentioned, I mean there's some of these very basic candy bars. This one just has a very different taste to it because it has pretzels in it. I think that it's probably my favorite candy. And yeah, I mean, look.
I laughed, but Take 5 is actually excellent. It just wasn't on my radar for being popular enough to pick. But it's an excellent candy bar.
Definitely not on my radar at all. I don't think I've had one, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of pretzels. Well, I did read in my research. I did see that was one of the top ranked candies. So I mean, maybe you'll get some votes there. I do love your peanut M&Ms pick though. That's one of my favorite candies too. And like you said, it's you usually get 2 at the when you're checking out. That's definitely one of the 2 I get. It's usually Reese's Cups and peanut M&Ms. That one lasts a little bit longer. It's definitely I think the best M&Ms of all time. But yeah, those are decent picks.
Well, we have a different agreement on what the best M&M is, which is interesting. But I wouldn't pick mine because I don't think that strawberry nut M&Ms are popular enough to pick. But if you've ever had them, they're amazing. So
never heard of it.
Yeah, it's like a peanut M&M, but they put a little strawberry in it with it, so it tastes kind of like a strawberry sundae a little. So, yeah. So there's so many good candies here left. I don't know if I just want to go with something classic or something out there, but I think I'll go classic. Just normal Hershey's. It's just chocolate. It's classic. There's nothing. It's simple. Sometimes you don't want all this fancy nonsense in your stuff. You just want chocolate. Hershey's, chocolate. Really, I would pick Cadbury, but I don't know if that one's going to be allowed. So
that would be allowed.
It would have been
chocolate been allowed? Because I'll just take regular Cadbury chocolate then, if that's allowed. I didn't know if it was popular enough.
Didn't you just read off your draft card?
Sorry, I don't know if I didn't know if it would be allowed because it's not popular and if I go to Walmart, they don't have Cadbury. A
lot of them do. Yeah, I mean they'll have some of the smaller bars sometimes.
Sometimes, okay. I wasn't sure if we would allow that one. So whatever.
Well, sucks. Maybe in the next round you can get.
Hershey's is fine. Regular Hershey's, they're good. They melt in your mouth. I'm happy with them. I'm gonna take Hershey's. Just good, solid chocolate.
I won't lie, that wasn't on my radar just because it is just plain chocolate. I really thought Cadbury was better. I think there's better versions of Hershey's out there too. But yeah, okay, that's all right. I guess I have a lot of things on my board now. Let me take a little peek. Okay, so just to be safe, I did miss out on the Reese's Cups, so I'm just gonna have to be safe and take the Reese's Pieces right here. Not as good as the cups in my mind, but not too bad itself. I think I started getting to them recently. I like the crunch. It's pretty good. Still get the chocolate and peanut butter. Yeah, so I'm okay right there. And with my 4th pick, there's way too many options out here. We are going 5 rounds, so I'll keep that in mind. You know what? I do need something fruity, so I'm going to take Starburst right here. Just to get that fruity flavor. we'll talk about real quick which ones are our favorites. But I mean, you got the fruity flavor, you got the cherry, you got the strawberry, orange. The yellow ones are pretty crappy, but whatever. Can't always be happy. But yeah, Starburst I think is a great fruity candy. My mom always used to have them and give them out to kids and stuff, so they used to love them. So yeah, I'm happy with that right there. I think there's a lot of options on the board right now, but I had to get something fruity, and I got my Reese's, so I'm good with that.
All right. Well, I'm actually also going to pick something fruity again here because that's my preference for candy, and I'm going to take Haribo gummy bears. So it's not just any gummy bears. You got to get Haribo. They're way better than your standard like Great Value or whatever kind of gummy bears, and they'll be in most of the checkout aisles, and they're fantastic to me. They're easily the best, and can throw them in the fridge or the freezer.
I'm gonna have to veto that.
No,
we did discuss this in the chat, and we just said we're just gonna avoid those big candies, the gummy bears, the trolley.
Well, that's fine. I have another plan then. What about Sour Patch Kids? Yes or no?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I got another pick ready. I figured this might be the case, so I'm gonna go with Hershey's Cookie and Cream, which is like personally, I've stopped liking it as much as I did when I was a kid. But when I was a kid, this was the number one candy to me. It was so sweet, and just cookies and cream is just a great combo. So yeah.
I personally didn't like that flavor. I know a lot of people did. I'm just not a huge fan of white chocolate, and I'm sorry, Dev, I had to do that to you because believe me, like Sour Patch Kids would be like top 2 in my mind.
Yeah,
so
that's fine. those are like, see, it also depends because like when I go to the grocery store, I'm really not looking for candy bars that much. I'm mostly looking for these kind of candies I can take home with me. Because if I get a Reese's, like it's not making it out of to the car. By the time I get to the car, I'm eating it,
True. I get that. All right, Sean.
All right. Well, look, if you look at my board, one thing that you can notice real quick is that I'm all about the chocolate. Fruity candies are fine, but it's not really what I'm going for. I mean, again, I would have considered Starburst, probably wouldn't have considered Skittles. I mean, again, if you're going to like a gas station, like I can understand like a fruit snack or something like that, but not, just not really my personal taste. And we're going to stick with that for my final 2 picks. So the first one I'm going to take Cadbury, just the basic Cadbury's chocolates. Look, people say that the American version isn't as good as the English one, and I probably agree with that, but I mean, it's not that different. I mean, the one you get in America is still very, very good. To me, if you're going to get a plain chocolate, that is by far the best one out there. I don't think it's even close. I don't think that Hershey's holds a candle to Cadbury's. The other one I'm going to go with, we're going to go again with some European flair. Again, this is one that I don't think that many voters will necessarily have had before. Well, I don't know. I don't know how popular this candy is. Kinder Bueno. So Kinder, do you know what I'm talking about?
I've never even heard of
it. All right. So basically, it's like, what's even in it? It's like they're individual sort of chocolate like straight bars basically, but sectioned off. And I think that they've got like chocolate and like some hazelnut inside of them.
Oh, I have actually had this before. I just didn't recognize it. Yeah, I've seen if you look up the picture of it, you'll know.
Yeah, you'd recognize it if you've seen it. Again, I mean, I don't think that it's necessarily going to be the most popular candy, but I think that it's one of the best ones on the board. There were a lot of different directions that I think I could have gone here, but you know what? After taking Reese's number 1, I really just felt like I had to stay true to myself and take what I felt was best available, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I have no clue what that is, but I did like your Cadbury pick. Compared to Hershey's, they're nice and thick pieces too on the bar. Where Hershey's like sometimes it's crumbled when you open it.
Yeah, but yeah, I 3 pieces of Cadbury's, man. Like you're already starting to feel full off of that, and I think that's a good feeling because then you get to save it for later.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's not a one-time sitting thing. Hershey's, I could just like. Eat all that because it's very thin.
Like the benefit of Hershey's to me is the mouthfeel is greater than Cadbury's. So the chocolate in Cadbury is really good, but it's so thick. With Hershey's, like you take that little bar, it just melts away in your mouth, like as soon as you put it. Yeah.
But there's no substance. That's why it melts away, is because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not a huge fan of the Hershey's. But all right, Dev, you're up.
Uh,
Last pick.
okay.
What do you got for us?
Well, so two of my favorite candies are still on the board, and they're two weird ones. So I don't know which of the two I'll go, but I'll just shout out to some of my best friends in Indiana that turned me on to this candy bar, the Heath bar. So it's not very popular, but I mean, it's like just toffee and chocolate. It's simple, it's a good combo, and it tastes amazing. So if you haven't had a Heath bar, definitely try it. It's great.
I'm a big fan of Heath personally.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't love about it is that it's just how much it gets in your teeth. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what Ashish is gonna take last, but there's another one that I don't really like for that reason. The one thing that is really good is there's the whenever you go get frozen yogurt, if they've got Heath, that's an absolute elite to add to any frozen yogurts.
And the Heath is also one of those bars, kind of like the Cadbury, where you eat it and you feel full after eating a Heath bar. Like, so I kind of do like that about it. So if I just need one bar, grab a Heath bar, and it'll give me good for a road trip or something. So
Yeah, that's a decent pick. I'm not a huge fan of Heath bars for the reasons Sean mentioned. I think it's an okay bar, but I think they do at like Dairy Queen's, like their Blizzards. Heath is definitely
they're really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good mix.
Well, with the last pick overall, there's way too many options out here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna choose what I like or if I'm gonna sell myself for the votes. You know what? Oh, I'm gonna stay true to myself. I'm gonna take a Baby Ruth right here. No, don't me. All right. When I said Snickers has like its substitute, it is the Baby Ruth.
It's
it has
not.
the same ingredients. No, literally, it has the same ingredients, just in a reverse order. All right.
Yeah,
so it still has nougat. It still has peanuts. Okay. Hey, buddy, I don't even know what the
100
is. All right.
grand
so
is better
just
than Baby
zip it up
Ruth.
out
It's
here.
the same thing too.
All right. So Baby Ruth's pretty great. I'm not even gonna lie. I was gonna, like I said, there's a lot of options out here that I personally like and a lot of popular ones, but I really do like a Baby Ruth. I never used to like them as a kid growing up when we got them for Halloween, but they're actually really good. So I'm gonna end it right there. I did have a secret plan that I was gonna take with my last pick. So I'll discuss that right here. We'll go around and talk about our honorable mentions, maybe one or two each. For me, I think my secret weapon was gonna be the mini M&Ms. I don't get it. Just smaller M&Ms, they just taste so much better for some reason.
I agree. They taste way better than
it's proportioned better. Yeah, but that's why I like peanut M&Ms. It's because like the regular M&Ms just have too much chocolate in them, like proportionally, and like peanut M&Ms just take some of that away. And that's why I think the mini M&Ms are better, because you just get more shell versus chocolate.
That's true. And then another one I'll mention is Twizzlers. I do like licorice. The ones you get usually checkout lines though, that's like the hard kind. If you get like the big bags, you get like the red vines or whatever, like the twirly ones, which I prefer.
Where does everyone stand on the Twizzlers versus red vines? Neither got picked, but
I've never had red vines before. I don't even.
Okay. Yeah. I've been a Twizzlers person my whole life. I had red vines for the first time. I actually think they're better. I've only had them once. They were amazing.
Yeah. No, if that's your type, like the stringy type, I do think red vines are better. I don't know, like the little hard ones I really like as well for the Twizzlers. But I didn't think it was just worth picking here, so I'll leave that be. All right, Dev, some honorable mentions.
So yeah, I had another M&M that's out there for me, the pretzel M&Ms. If you've ever had, those are to me my like, other than strawberry nut, which is such a niche one. That's my favorite M&M. So that was really the only other honorable mention I had that I was thinking about. Crunch, because it was kind of a pander pick, but I don't like it personally.
It's okay. I think I prefer Crackle. Growing up, Shaq was a big like endorser of the Crunch bar, so that's why I liked it back then. Personally, on M&Ms, I like mini M&Ms, and me and my brother loved the crispy M&Ms. They brought them back a couple years ago.
The green bar, the green bag.
The green bag. I really love those too.
Yeah, that's another one I wasn't sure if people would know, so I didn't go towards that.
Well, and I'll throw in peanut butter M&Ms too. They're another solid one.
The red bag.
I was surprised, Dev, you left off Toblerone, which is something you asked if it was allowed, and I said yes.
But I just decided against it, so.
All right. I mean, some fancy chocolate. I mean, I thought it would be better than some of your picks, but okay.
Yeah, that is my personal like favorite candy, but like you can't get it at most grocery stores, so I kind of just want away from it for that reason.
Fair enough. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I mean the biggest one left off my board, I'd say, was Milky Way, which, I mean, I know it's not necessarily the most popular one, so I didn't really consider it that hard. I don't know. That was kind of the main one. I mean, it's really the other ones that I think that I'd consider would be like just things that I wouldn't necessarily know if they counted. Like, there are like bags of cookies and stuff like that, which again are a good change of pace versus like a true candy bar.
Yeah, like Fig Newtons or something, which are often in the line or something like that.
Never considered Fig Newtons, not even for a second. I was thinking more like Famous Amos or something like that.
I love Fig Newtons. I think they're awesome.
That's disgusting.
What's going on here? But
fruit candies are better than chocolate candies.
They really and truly are not. but no, I mean, again, for me, like, I love chocolate, and I mean, no, you mentioned Crunch, like that was like the original sort of chocolate with something in it bar, and then obviously as candies kept progressing and progressing, you got better and better options. And like, I didn't love nuts growing up, and like now I'm more okay with them. Now that I'm not a child anymore, so so when I was younger, that was less. I less wanted nuts in mine, and so Crunch sort of filled that void a little bit better. And same like Dev mentioned with the cookie and cream Hershey's one, that was also something that had stuff in it. Like, I just, again, other than Cadbury's, I don't love the very basic stuff. Like, I like having something mixed in, and I'm the same way with ice cream too. Like, I like.
What about the Cadbury like fruit and nut? Like, do you like raisins in the thing?
I like the nuts and I don't like the fruit.
I don't
like. See, I like the Cadbury fruit and nut too.
That's disgusting.
I think I just like fruits with my sweets. I like the taste.
I don't get it. I don't want raisins in my sweets. No, thank you.
That is really gross. I tried it once. I was like, no, this is nasty.
Okay, I bet if Ryan was here, Ryan would be with me.
Yeah, but Ryan would have been like an apple or something.
Ryan would have picked like
the Fig Newton.
Ryan would have picked like Dentine Ice or something.
Yeah, icebreakers. I mean, I'll go for that.
He would have picked a gum, knowing him.
Take 5, or sorry, 5 gum. 5 gum.
Yeah. You mentioned Milky Way. I'm not a huge fan either. I think they're disgusting. I prefer some nuts in my chocolate. Another one I don't think anyone would mention, but I thought about because Shahan chose something weird, was the Flake Bar. They're very popular in India and England and stuff. So I always got them at the Indian store, and they're really good. In England, they actually put in their ice cream and stuff, and they sell it like that. It's really good stuff. I was thinking about taking that.
Well, and the other two, there are actually 2 other Cadbury's ones that I considered. I considered the Caramello, the caramel chocolate one, and I also considered and again, this was a seasonal one, which is why I didn't take it. This might be one of my favorite candies overall. Cadbury's eggs. I think that, like, the little mini eggs for me, I think are the best ones. So again, those were seasonal, so didn't really consider them because they wasn't sure if they were allowed. But I mean, I think that just pound for pound, Cadbury's across the board has the best candies.
Yeah, no, they're really good. I think they have hollow eggs too, if I'm not mistaken. They're really huge. You can get them around Easter time.
Well, and they have pre-filled ones too.
True, that's very true. Okay, we'll talk about the dishonorable mentions, as Dev was talking about, the ones we hate. I just want to get your thoughts on 100 Grand. What do you guys think about the bar?
I think it's better than the alternate that you picked for Snickers. I think it's better than Baby Ruth, personally, and it's a pretty solid alternate.
What? I mean, I think they're similar. I think they have similar things. I think Baby Ruth actually has like legitly. I think 100 Grand has like some tweaks. I do like 100 Grand. I thought about it there, but like I said, I'm gonna stay true to myself. I like Baby Ruth. All right, so
I would never purchase that one.
Okay, hey Dev. Nice doubling down on Hershey's, boy. You got the nasty. Shahan at least got Cadbury. All right, you got a bar, bro.
I got some Panda picks too.
You took Skittles with your first pick. I mean, I don't think you have room to talk, buddy.
Well, so my worst is Fun Dip. I think Fun Dip is.
Oh yeah, no, that's terrible.
Dude, I don't know. It is pretty gross. Something about that dipping the stick in there, though.
Yeah. I do like the ritual associated with it. Like the dipping is fine, but like the stick tastes like chalk. Like
the stick is disgusting, bro. I mean, all you want is the powder. It's like basically like pixie sticks or whatever. Really.
Well, that's what Wasn't there like a baby bottle that you could that was just powder? It was popular when we were kids.
It was I think Ring Pop had like this little other version.
Baby bottle pop.
Baby bottle pop. That's the one. Yeah, it's like a little. It was just basically drinking the Fun Dip. Is all it was.
Never had it. Never once had it.
I think I had it once, and it was very difficult to actually use after one time. So I was like, "This is disgusting." Fun Dip, like I said, I like the powder. The stick is really nasty. Something similar. Ring Pops, dude. That was what I never really had one growing up. They're a huge deal, though.
They were a big one whenever you used to play youth sports, and then you had the concession stand afterwards. Yes. That was one of the better options there.
What about like Dum Dums? Like, I don't know if they would be pickable in our draft because of the way, but I'm not a fan of that.
Variety. Like, you get like the huge bag in the candy aisle. Overall, I think it's pretty like 60-40. You got like the root beer, you got the blueberry, the butterscotch or whatever, but then half the flavors
are raspberry.
Yeah.
So in our office after Halloween, like somebody during Halloween brought in like a big bag of candy and one of the variety packs, and I'll tell you what was definitely just completely left over at the end of it was Whoppers. Nobody like who eats
Whoppers? I personally love Whoppers.
Whoppers are amazing.
What is wrong with you guys?
No, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I know Dev has some horrible picks this draft, but Whoppers are really good.
Candies, but I like Whoppers. I like Dots too. I know a lot of people hate them.
Yeah, but no. You lost me there. Dots are disgusting. That's where I draw the line. Okay.
A lot of people hate there's a lot of variety in candies, right?
What about Milk Duds?
I do like them, but they get stuck in my teeth way worse than Heath.
Oh, and the one that I just cannot do because they just get stuck in my teeth too much is Butterfinger. Like, I just can't do it. Like, no, and for me, like, it's way more of an issue than it is with Heath, but that's one of the issues with Heath too, and that's why I kind of like it broken up a little bit so that, like, again, mixed into something else, I think it's a very, very solid one, but just being able to eat it just like bite by bite, I mean, it's just same sort of issue.
Well, what's better is actually Heath has like mini Heath, so you can get like, and they're actually better than just a bar because then you have that same thing. It's already broken up for you basically.
Yeah, no, that would help. I hate the feeling of getting a ton of stuff stuck in my teeth.
Shout out to Haley and Savannah, my friends in Indiana, who turned me on to Heath bars. So they were obsessed with them.
They did you wrong. All right, so shout out to those guys.
Well, Haley worked at an ice cream shop, so that kind of makes sense. She probably had it in ice cream a lot.
Makes sense, yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I love Whoppers. I love Milk Duds too. And like you said, I hate getting them stuck in my teeth. Dots are disgusting. I don't know what Dev's talking about. Butterfinger, probably the worst candy of all time. I really don't get the hype. I don't enjoy the taste. It's just gets stuck all over your mouth for no reason. It doesn't even taste good.
They changed the taste recently, actually. It's even worse now.
Right. The only reason I ever was considered getting one was because Bart Simpson really loved Butterfinger and they had those commercials and stuff. But overall, I just hate. I really judge people that love Butterfinger. I was discussing with my mom a couple months ago. I was like, I can't trust people that love Butterfinger. That's just disgusting. I asked her what her favorite candy was, and she said Butterfinger. I was like, all right, love you, Mom, but that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Another bad one, Three Musketeers. I do not like it.
That was something I was pandering about with my last pick. I know people love them.
What?
People love Three Musketeers for some reason. It's okay. It's very Like, I don't get what the cream filling inside is. It's just like all fluffy and stuff. I don't need that in my life.
What about Almond Joy?
No, get that shit out of here, dude.
Almond Joy and Mounds go straight in the trash can.
Those two siblings are the worst in the candy area. All right, I mean, you just changed the colors, took out almonds to one. I mean, they're both trash, bro. Bounty as well. Bounty, those coconut candy bars. Get them out of here.
I assume you'll feel the same about like the peppermint patties and stuff too. Then.
I actually like peppermint patties.
Yeah, I like them, but I like all of those things. So
for me, like if we go, when we were young and went trick or treating, right? Like I always separated the chocolate because again, I'm a chocolate guy. I want chocolate first and foremost. But then once you get to the chocolate group, which I was very excited about, because again, you got the Twix, you got the the Reese's cups, all that sort of stuff. The thing that just went in the trash was always anything that was coconut or almond based. Like I'm just not about it. Do not want it.
Have you guys have not tried the almond Snickers before? I think it's actually really good.
I don't think I have.
It's not like Almond Joy. It's like an actual Snickers bar, but instead of peanuts, it's almonds.
I'm not a fan of almonds. I just don't like the taste.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I try to avoid them when I can. What is it called? Many years ago, they came out with the Snickers Crunch Bar. It was like a yellow wrapping. That was actually really good. I don't know why they got rid of it. I think Twix also had some different varieties throughout the years. Those were really good. Back to the disgusting ones. I don't get what's up with Payday. Why'd you cover the whole thing with peanuts and take away the chocolate? It doesn't make any sense.
Payday,
that sounds disgusting. I love Paydays personally, but the candy bar, that is right there with the Almond Joys and Mountains in my mind. Any other ones that you guys really dislike, or any ones we didn't mention? I think there's Mr. Goodbar, very basic as well. Not a huge fan. You mentioned the peppermint patties. I've never personally bought the York ones. I think I've had them once or twice. They're pretty decent. But yeah, I mean, if you can't get the Andes mints, that's right there. So it's good in my mind.
Weren't Tootsie Rolls popular for a lot of people? I always hated them, but
yeah, I think especially for Halloween, you get them all the time. I'd never personally bought a Tootsie bar or something.
Well, the thing is too is so now as a pretend adult, obviously, who has a place and all that, I've now bought candy to distribute, and I just don't understand why people make the decisions that they do.
When they go to buy the variety packs,
there are good variety packs. Why are you picking the variety pack that's all whatever
job related products?
Yeah,
jawbreakers. I don't get it. What's up with the hype over there?
But why are you picking that when there's you could get the variety pack that has Kit Kat and Twix bars, and what are you doing? Do you actively hate kids? I don't understand.
That's the variety pack I always get. I think it's Kit Kat, Twix, Reese's, and something else, right?
There's some Whoppers in there though.
There are Whoppers. I like the Whoppers. So
I like Whoppers too. I don't know why Shahan's hating, but no, you're right. What do you think about Tootsie Pops? Growing up, I thought they were disgusting. I was like, Blow Pops is where it's at.
I don't like Blow Pops either.
So if you want to go on, if I can go on a 1-minute tangent on Tootsie Pops, how
many licks?
They used to have those commercials. There's how many licks does it take to get to the center, right? All right. Well, when we took this exam for IB Spanish, we had to write a 200-word essay. That was part of the thing, and you had 2 hours to do it. 200 words. So I finished that in 10 minutes, and I had a Tootsie Pop there because they were distributing out candy while we were taking the test, and I just ate the Tootsie Pop, and I tested how many licks it took. It was over 1,000, and that's how bored I was. So shout out to IB Spanish. You got to make a harder test, bro.
Well, all right then. Interesting story right there. But yeah, no, I think Tootsie Pops are decent. Blow Pops, I think, were the coolest thing at the time. They turned to gum, taste pretty good. I thought they were better than Dum Dums in my mind. Ooh, Smarties. Smarties was a really good candy. I love Smarties. I also love Pixie Sticks. Pixie Sticks are the greatest thing of all time. You want some instant sugar real quick?
That's like just eating the Fun Dip. That's what Pixie Sticks are.
Yeah.
Eating Fun Dip.
I'm out on all of this.
What about Nerds?
Yeah, pro.
I consider them, but they're not for me personally.
I think there's a limit. The first few bites, you're like, this is pretty good. If there's a lot left over, you're just this is disgusting.
Nerds are perfect as one of the candies in your Halloween bag, but I wouldn't want to just get Nerds.
Mm-hmm. So so your favorite candy is actually the Twix, right, Shahan?
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough question, but yes, I'd say that out of the big candies, Twix is my favorite.
Okay, and for me and Dev, I think we both love Reese's Cups.
Yeah, of the standard. Yeah, well, I actually like the mini ones better, but if I just go to a store, I'll get the big ones because they're harder to find. Or the cups with pieces in them, I actually really like those.
Yeah. No, and there's what are the ones called? Because they have the bars that are the
kind of the Nutty Buddy bars.
Yeah,
I told you that. They're kind of similar. I've never actually had the Reese's ones, but I know you said actually we had a bite. You gave me some, and I was like, oh, this tastes kind of like the Nutty Buddy bars. I think they're called like Reese's Sticks or something like that.
No, Reese's Sticks are actually something else because that's actually Bargaby's favorite candy.
Oh, okay.
It's like wafers.
They're wafers.
They're wafer versions basically, and they're really good. You can but it's weird for whatever reason, like you can always get them at Walmart and you can never find them anywhere else. I don't know why.
Yeah, Reese's Sticks is basically like a Reese's Kit Kat bar.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's very solid.
I feel like I could have drafted that instead of the Pieces because I do like that one more. I just feel like that one would have gotten less votes. So
Pieces are good. I mean, shout out to ET for bringing Pieces to the mainstream.
All right, hey Dev. Instead of giving all these shout outs, how about you try to hype up your horrible draft real quick and tell us why people should vote for you?
Well, I got the best draft because again we're quarantined, and if you come over, I got best variety. I got a fruity candy, I got a chocolatey candy, I got just straight chocolate, I've got Keith, and I've got cookies. So the actual draft, let me just go through the picks. Skittles, fruit candy, Hershey's, chocolate, Snickers, just a great all-around candy, cookies and cream, and then Keith bar. So I got a whole 5 different candies for you. So come over to my house. We got great candy.
Yeah. So we all have 5 different candies, Dev. So
no, they're 5 like actually different variety.
Okay.
Like,
yeah. Blah blah blah. All right, Sean. How about you try to hype up your picks out here?
Yeah, look, I am just sticking with what works. I'm going with chocolate. If you don't like chocolate, I don't really care. You shouldn't come over to my house, and I don't want you here. So for me, I got Reese's #1. Again, the most popular candy on the planet. Next up, you got peanut M&Ms. Again, you got that chocolate, but you kind of got to mix in with it too. Next up, you got Take 5. Again, one that you might not have ever necessarily tried before, but just gives you a real good variety of some of the things that go inside of a bar. Like, for me, I like having a lot of different tastes all together and a lot of different flavors all together, so Take 5 is a solid one for me. Next up, if you want to just go basic, you got the best basic candy out there in Cadbury's. Like, it's the best pure chocolate that there is. I don't even really think it's that close. And again, like, depending on how we, stretch the rules of this, you might get Cadbury mini eggs, you might get some of the seasonal stuff, but Cadbury's is the best chocolate maker on the planet, and we're running it off with Kinder. Again, another one that you probably haven't necessarily tried, but it's a little bit lighter. Again, some of these candies are a little bit heavier. This one's a little bit lighter, but you get some of that mix of flavors where you get kind of the hazelnut, you get the chocolate. Very solid overall. I think that, again, look, if you don't like chocolate, don't come here. You're not welcome here. But if you do, I got you covered.
All right. Well, I really loved my picks. Maybe the 5th one, whatever. You guys both had horrible drafts, so I feel okay with it. I started out with Twix, one of the great classic candies of all time. Let me know if you're a left side or a right side person. Let me know, please. Then you got Kit Kat second. Oh man, great commercials, just so classic. Those wafers are so nice. Then I, with my 3rd pick, I took Reese's Pieces. I prefer the cups, but the pieces aren't too bad themselves. I prefer them over M&Ms. And then I had to go something fruity, so I took Starburst, which I think is the best fruity candy, over Skittles. And then I ended up with Baby Ruth. Well, with all that said, this wraps up another great episode of the Ashish and Friends podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, we'll put up the polls on the Instagram and on Twitter. On Twitter, we're on Ashish and Pals. Instagram, Ashish and Friends. And you can also check out the results and other information on ashishandfriends.com. If you have any other questions, segment ideas, let us know. Instagram, Twitter, the website. And until next time, we're out.